What is up, guys? It's me, boy KWIS, and we are back again with another video. And as you can tell by the title, it's time to talk about Hwoarang players. And I know what you're thinking. Whoa, KWIS, you're also a Hwoarang player. And what are you doing? You're going after yourself here. But listen, I'm different. All right, I'm built different. My genes, the insides of me, they're not the same as these other guys. I need you guys to understand that before we begin this video. And another thing, I guess what I need to state before what has spurred me on to make this video is, if you guys have been paying attention, recently I uploaded a video about how Hwoarang's a difficult character to balance and a few nerfs I'd suggest to the character and one single buff. And I don't know, first off, I'd like to say, before we talk about the Hwoarang players, there's also a lot of other people that just don't understand how this character works. Because like, even in the video, I suggested there should be a nerf to Backlash's active frames. And then for some reason, people in the comments were like, yo, Hwoarang's broken, you need to nerf Backlash. And it's like, yeah, I said that in the video, so why are you coming at me? Like, I said in the video they should nerf that, so I don't understand why you're mad at me. You know, I don't know what's going on there. But there are just a few situations. So before we get into the Hwoarang players, let's get into these guys. So the first one I kind of want to cover here is this one here, and it says should nerf down 3-4 and give a proper launch punish. And even then, I mentioned the video, down 3-4, maybe nerf the active frames of the 4, but even still, there are characters that can get launch punishes anyway. There are characters that can get knockdowns, blah, blah, count hits, whatever. And then next up, he said buff sidestep 4, buff left flamingo down back 4, buff just frame skyrocket, buff just frame skyrocket, nerf combo damage, and make his down forward 1 -2 on block. Now, this is when I say people don't understand Hwoarang, this is exactly what I'm talking about, because the moves that he's saying to buff are already good. Like, sidestep 4 is a pretty decent low. It's a count hit launcher, gives you a nice bit of damage. Left flamingo down back 4 is his only tracking tool in left flamingo, and that's a really good low. Right foot 4 down 4, that's a pretty good low in my opinion, especially for Oki. It's only -11 on block. Just frame skyrocket doesn't need to be buffed. I don't know, unless he means buff tracking to it, which, like, maybe, yeah, sure, but then the counterplay to Hwoarang and neutral is just sidewalk to the left. Then if skyrocket's catching you, that's a bit weird. And then his down for 1 being -2 on block doesn't really change anything, because it still has a follow-up afterwards. So I don't know. This is what I mean when I say people don't understand the character, because where are you coming? I didn't say these are buffs the character should have, and I mentioned the one nerf he mentioned anyway, so I don't understand where that comes from. And then you see, this is a large comment I got here. I am not gonna be I can't bother to go over all of it, but at the end he gave that like traditional phrase, like if Hwoarang was released today, people would complain just as much as Leroy, blah blah blah. You know, the only reason top players don't complain about Hwoarang now because it's been around for so long, and that's just wrong. I mean, this Hwoarang, the way he is now, is the best he has ever been, and is quite different to Hwoarangs of the past. Down 3-4 wasn't natural until tag 2, I believe, and even then the tag 2 down 3-4 we have here wasn't the same in season 1. Backlash was a lot different. Like, this is a different character than before, and you have to play against him differently than you did before. I mean, the general consensus of movement beats Hwoarang has always been the same, but he's been very different since then. And even still, the top players have adjusted and they're still playing against him just fine. And I hate this if Hwoarang was released today argument, because it's like, the reason people complained about Leroy the way he did is he was actually broken. He was intentionally made broken, in my opinion anyway. That's a conspiracy theory. We don't actually know. I'm pretty sure he was. And then he said something like, imagine if they made Brian's taunt +18 instead of +16, and it's like, we're not even talking about Brian here. This taunt is a completely different thing. I don't know where you're going with this. But yeah, it was just a whole bunch of nonsense. And then the same person in another comment really just showed even further how much they don't understand the character. Because the only buff I suggested for Hwoarang in the video was you make his up back through 315 frames. I explained why in the video, and there was someone in the comment section agreeing with that. And then this guy returns again to say that that is silly. Hwoarang never needed a down forward 2 launch to begin with. He wouldn't be complaining if a 15 frame launcher wasn't in his move list. Now he just wants another one without weaknesses. Don't know what that means. Hwoarang players are worse than Nina players when it comes to complain about their character's weaknesses. And then I'm sitting here like, well, if my character didn't have a 15 frame launch, I probably would say something about it, especially considering Hwoarang's like 10 to 14 frame punish is pretty mediocre, especially when you compare it to a lot of characters. So it'd be weird if he didn't have that. Like, for example, you see certain characters that like they don't have a certain thing like a 15 frame launcher or something, blah blah, it will be made up for elsewhere. For example, Raven doesn't have a 15 frame launcher. I believe her downforward 2 is 16 frames, but then she has a 14 frame while standing launcher. You get my point. So it would be weird if Hwoarang didn't have a 15 frame launcher and then from while standing he didn't launch until 16 frames as well. That would be weird. Then I also like took issue with him saying like up back 3-3 doesn't have any weaknesses. Like that's a weird statement to make. But I basically like pulled him up on that. I was like, what do you mean up back 3-3 doesn't have any weaknesses? And then his response to that really showed me that I'm glad a lot of you people are not on the balancing team, because his response was kind of crazy. But you have here him saying, you know, Hwoarang doesn't get his game plan from launching minus 15 lows. Why give him that as well? And I have to, before I get to the main point, no character in the game gets their game plan from their ability to launch punish something. It's not how Tekken works, so I don't know why you'd bring that up in the first place. But then he suggested that instead of giving him up back 3-3, you just buff the range on Hwoarang's down forward 2. Yep, that's the solution. You buff the range on Hwoarang's safe down forward 2, which this is what I mean when I say people don't understand the character. Like, do you understand how cancerous that would just be? Like, giving him the range on his down forward 2. Look at the pushback of blocking Steve's full crouch down forward 2. This is the range it doesn't have. And you want to give his down forward 2 this range. You want his down forward 2 to be able to close this gap. This is, I just don't understand. I don't understand the reasoning behind this. And I'm very glad a lot of you guys are not on the balancing team. But anyway, that's enough of the Hwoarang haters. This first half is Dear Hwoarang Haters Part 3. This part is now Dear Hwoarang Players, because you guys need a serious talking to. And I feel like we need to get into, normally save the best for last. I'm putting the best for first because this guy's absolutely insane. So first off, he starts off with a beautiful statement. Bro, calm the fuck down. Why are you suggesting nerfs for Hwoarang, man? That's your opinion. Keep it to yourself. Stop encouraging the Tekken team to nerf Hwoarang. Hwoarang is a mid-tier character and we Hwoarang players already struggle as is. Most Hwoarang players are in green/purple ranks, so we need these buffs. Stop encouraging nerfs for him. First off, the majority of the entire player base are in those ranks. Like, that is where everyone resides. You know, Hwoarang players aren't special in that fact. And it gets worse. So then someone sort of responded to him saying like, bro, shut up, you don't know what you're saying. And then his response to that is, lol, you're probably a green rank or below with Hwoarang. That's why this doesn't affect you. No one asks for your validation. I've been stuck at Emperor for so long now. If Hwoarang gets some buffs, then I can reach Tekken God. But again, you wouldn't understand any of this, and boy. The thing is, I would love to say that's the worst of it, but it's not. But first off, I just have to say, the nerfs I suggested for Hwoarang were nerf the active frames on Backlash, nerf the pushback on his right foot forward plasma blade, and nerf the active frames of the 4 of down 3-4. That's it. I didn't say gut the character. I didn't say kill him. But those nerfs alone are enough for you to turn around and be like, no, this cannot happen. I'll never get to Tekken God if you do this to me. Please, sir, stop. I also find it funny that like he thinks like the Tekken team are like gonna watch my video and be like, damn, yeah, this is what we need to do. Kwis is right. We're gonna take his advice. They're already typing. They're like going away just like, here we go. We're putting in these nerfs as he speaks. Like, it's just, I don't know. Let's keep going. So basically, I just clapped back at him and basically just said to him, listen, if these nerfs are enough to make you, you know, scared for the character, I don't know. And also that attitude of you need buffs to improve your rank is a stupid one at best. And then here we go. Yes, I agree with you. The nerfs you mentioned aren't that serious. But what my point is that the discussion of nerfs to Hwoarang is wrong because he is a C to B character at best. Okay. He needs more buffs so he can at least reach A tier and people at lower rank won't have to work that hard to rank up with him. Now, I don't mean make him the next Leroy, but give him some more tools so he can reach A tier. Now this, I wish I could say it doesn't get worse, but it still does get worse from this, trust me. But first off, Hwoarang isn't a C/B character. I do believe he is an A tier character if you're ranking S, S+, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, that's an opinion. Tier lists are all opinion. A character's position on a tier list, more than anything, is an opinion. You can't solidly say anything like that. That this character is definitely this, unless it's like, you know, release Leroy, definitely S tier. Akuma, Geese, definitely S tier, right? Like a lot of the lower tier characters in this game are very, you know, it's very subjective where you place them on a tier list. But regardless, Hwoarang is a strong character anyway. And this notion that like he needs to be at the A tier is very weird. And the fact that he just keeps saying Hwoarang needs buffs, right? Keep that in your head. So then he did the generic thing that everyone does as well, because I brought in his attitude of Hwoarang needs buffs so I can rank up. I brought that up and then his response was and to answer your question, yes, I am an emperor with that attitude. I live in NA. We don't have it easy here at ranked. Not everyone can just get a mega like you guys in EU, lol. If I'm being honest, I can probably take down your Hwoarang. And this happens all the time. I get this all the time. People who watch my gameplay or they watch my videos and they're just like, I could beat you. I get this shit all the time. But the fact that it's coming from someone that's saying I need buffs to rank up is hilarious. I'm not laughing right now because I laughed so much about this yesterday. I'm literally all laughed out about it. But the fact that that's where this is coming from is just hilarious. And then we continue. Lol, it's not just about ranking up, bro. Buffs will help other Hwoarang mains get better at the game and win more games and enjoy the game more. I also forgot that this game was centered entirely around Hwoarang players. That's something I actually forgot. Tekken 7 is all about making Hwoarang players happy. And I'm sorry that I have forgotten that. So thank you for reminding me. You don't understand this because you've always been at the top ranks. That's why you can easily state nerfs needed for Hwoarang and not be affected by it. But every other Hwoarang main that's struggling would want buffs. And again, Hwoarang is a B tier character. He needs those buffs. But trust me, your Hwoarang isn't even in the top 10 in the world, maybe top 50 at best. I can show you what Hwoarang players... It's very hard to say this with a straight face. I can show you what Hwoarang play is all about. And again, no hate or anything. I just disagree with the fact that Hwoarang needs nerfs, then buffs. And oh god, it gets worse. It just keeps getting worse. And I wish we were done, but we're not. But it definitely gets worse. So if we just like tackle the first half, he's saying that, you know, buffs will help Hwoarang players. This is one thing I hate, by the way, and something a lot of people do in the comment section all the time is like, when they're just like, I'm not talking for me when I say this. I'm talking about everyone. I have everyone behind me with what I'm saying. And they all agree with me, right, guys? Like, they do that thing. And it's like, stop that, right? Because you're losing the arguments. You have to bring in other people who aren't here to back up your claims. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. And then like the saying, you know, I'm top 50 Hwoarang, like stuff like that that's really funny, you know. I'm not gonna go in on that because, you know, people start saying I'm toxic, I'm arrogant, blah blah blah. I'm not even gonna get into that because this guy gets worse anyway. So I don't have to do it. He's gonna do it for me. So I kind of went in on him on a bit, and then I said to myself, okay, maybe this guy has a point, right? Maybe there's something lacking in Hwoarang's gameplay that I cannot see yet, that this guy has the answers to. So I just asked him, what buffs do you think that Hwoarang actually needs? And then first off, he sort of like came back on my claim about how he has no tournament results, blah, blah, blah. He's like, lol, now tournament results determine how good someone is, huh? K-Wiss, you play against good players, not great Tekken players. The EU scene is trash. There's more competition on my side here. You need to understand that being the best Hwoarang in your area doesn't mean you're the best Hwoarang. I would crush you. I've been alpha and ranked 5-1 while you barely won against him. Now, before we get into that, you know what? I think he's right on that one. I think he is. I just think the level of Tekken players I've played against just isn't up there yet. Like every Tekken player I've played against is, you know, just good. You know, I just think I haven't reached that level yet where, you know, yeah, I haven't played against great Tekken players. I haven't played against players that fully understand the matchup and know how to deal with Hwoarang. So maybe that's why, you know, I feel this way. So yeah, I completely agree with you. You know, every Tekken player that I've played against is just good. Also, beating someone in ranked means nothing. Just want to throw that out there. I've never cared about anyone beating someone else in ranked and be like, damn, this guy's good, right? So that means nothing. And also, you're claiming there's more competition on your side, which, you know, you could say the NAE argument has been going on for a while now. Sure. However, I do think there may be more competition playing at Tekken God Omega in Europe than playing at Emperor in North America. I'm just saying, right? I don't know. Come over here. You know what? Come over here. Come over to Europe. Get your Emperor up to Tekken God Omega, and then we'll see what you're saying. But then anyway, then he goes into the buffs that he believes Hwoarang needs. First of all, Hwoarang doesn't need any nerfs. And I believe he should have more poking moves, and a few of his moves should have fast recovery. Holy shit, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, this is the thing that actually gets on my nerves a lot about the Tekken community in general, is how can you say my character needs buffs, but not know what you need or what you really want? Like, what does that mean? He should have more poking moves? Are you saying just give him new moves? Like, I don't understand what that means. Also, poking isn't what... Let me not, because it doesn't make any sense anyway. Me dissecting what he says here proves nothing. Like, it doesn't make any sense anyway. Another major change I wish is for his parry to parry both kicks and punches, not just punches, and a few of his moves should have more frame rates. I don't know what that means. But also buffing his parry, like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that's not the type of character Hwoarang is, to be like, he parries everything. Like, parry punches and kicks, like, how many characters in the game actually parry punches and kicks when you think about it, right? You know, besides Jin, Leroy, Geese, I can think of very few characters who parry both punches and kicks. I don't see why Hwoarang should be a part of that, you know, exclusive list. I mean, maybe this guy knows about, because apparently there's something that Dinosaur said, no, Starscream said, was that apparently back in Tekken 4, in the beta when they were testing it, Hwoarang actually had Jin's parry. You know, that was Hwoarang's parry before it was Jin. So maybe he knows about that. It's like, you know, Hwoarang needs that back, which is like, sure, I guess so. But yeah, all in all, I hope this was just like some kind of crazy elaborate troll. If so, you got me. And if not, I don't know what else to say to you, but we're not done. Then next up, we have this guy, and this guy has been a fan of mine for a while now. Like, he comments on like a lot of my videos, calling me an idiot, annoying, saying that, you know, I need to shut up a lot of the time. And here he is again. Oh my god, how stupid you are with fucking RFS back 3 to be nerfed. I said it before and I'll say it again. For one last time, they made -10 because they fucking removed his only safe launcher from RFS, which is down forward 4. So just shut up and don't ask for this stupid request again. Yeah, this guy is also another Hwoarang player who... The thing is, there's the common theme here. A lot of the Hwoarang players that don't like me and think they can beat me think everything I say is stupid, which is like, whatever, like, here's my results list, where's yours? You know, that's just something I should start doing that to these guys. Like, show me your results list or some shit, I don't know. Then people will say I'm toxic, who gives a fuck? But yeah, RFS back 3 being a -10 launcher is very stupid, and the fact that people don't get that is like, the only people that seem to not get that are these Hwoarang players who like, he needs that, which like, he doesn't really, does he? Like, I don't know, like, yeah, maybe he needs a safer, you know what they should do if that's the case? Make his right flamingo hop kick, make that safer, make that safer at -11, and then make the other one, you know, make RFS back 3, then you make that -13 or whatever, right? Because that does less damage than the RFS back 3, but even then it's just like, I don't know. But I'm glad that this guy still watches my videos and keeps up to date with me, just keeps following me around. It's really nice to have a fan as dedicated as this one. The next up here, we have someone that says, I main Hwoarang, and honestly, I think he needs a sweep, a legit one too, similar to Brian Snakeedge. Yeah, Hwoarang needs a snake edge, apparently. I don't have anything to add on to that. That's just funny. But yeah, that's about it. One thing I've just noticed is there are a lot of Hwoarang players that just don't like me. I don't know what it is. I guess I don't think the character sucks. I don't think he's one of the worst characters in the game. I know how to play him. I actually get results for the character. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm not well liked within the Hwoarang community. You know, I'm just gimmicks. You know, I'm not that good. I could beat him. You know, he's not even that good of a Hwoarang. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that I hear from time to time, and it's like, sure, where's your results list though? You know, who have you beaten? You know, did Arslan Ash say you were good? Looking a little funny there, you know. Yeah, I have nothing really more to add on to that. This was just a fun little video that I just wanted to do, because I guess I should have done it a while ago now, but I didn't really have like the resources for it, because I've seen this kind of stuff for Hwoarang players for a long time now. And I guess my message to Hwoarang players out there, and obviously I know it's not all of them, you know, obviously I'm generalizing just the ones I see here. I know some of you guys are fantastic and lovely and you're great people to talk to, you know, there's nothing wrong there. But my message to the rest of you guys is get good.